Hello everyone, and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today I will be making my final video on my alternate build of LEGO Harry Potter set number 75954, Hogwarts Great Hall, the alternate build being called Dumbledore's Office. I have previously both made a video where I reviewed this model in full, as well as a video where I gave step-by-step instructions on how to build the first floor of this model, which you can see here. And if you've watched that video, then this video is pretty important as I break the model. Of course I do. It's not fully stable yet since it's not finished. Anyway, and in this video, I will be showing you how to build the remainder of the castle, as well as a little tower to go off to the side that also isn't very stable because it isn't attached yet. But anyway, so without any more further ado, let's just get right into working on building up the second and third floors of the castle. So, much like with the first floor, for the very first just ground level, or I guess just in this case the actual floor or ceiling of the first floor, anyway, the foundation of the build, I'm not going to be giving you a step-by-step tutorial, and instead I'll just be showing you the full completed thing, because just in case I have an idiot moment and decide to just completely forget what I'm doing and put stuff in the wrong place, I don't want to have to completely make you restart. So, luckily the base here is pretty simple. You can see, first off, you have this in the front. You just have this, 6x12 plate with just a 1x4 plate at the front. Then, you can sort of see the layout of things, as again, it breaks because this isn't connected very well yet, because there's nothing on top of it or below it. But anyway, then you have, over here, you have an 8x8, 3 of these large 2x16s, as well as 2 2x8, just to fill up the same amount of space. And then in the back we have these large corner pieces, and all these plates are just connected by these two 2x8s, as well as in the middle this one 2x8 with a little upside-down sloped piece to connect the two corner wedge plates together. So yeah, so it should look like this. So yeah, you can just go back and pause the video if you're not finished yet. But anyway, now let's move on to the first floor of the model with our first layer of bricks. So, here are all the parts you're going to need for the very first layer of bricks that go onto the model. So, we will start on each side at the back with a 1x1x5 brick, as well as a 1x4 brick. And again, we do the same on the other side as well. And then up here at the front on each side, we will put on a nice 1x3 as such. Then, adjacent to those, next to them we will have some 1x2x5 bricks. Then up here at the front, we'll make a sub-assembly, so we'll take a dark green 1x4 plate, a couple of 1x2s with the sockets for mini ball joints, another 1x4, and we'll make a couple of sub-assemblies. So we'll take a mini ball joint 1x2, 1x4 tile, 2x4, and a 2x2 jumper. And then we'll make the same design but mirrored. And we'll just stick both of these into the piece. We can angle them properly later, but for right now, we'll just attach it on here, and these will form these sort of curved, awning isn't the right word, but it's all I can think of, over the door entrance. And yeah, you might notice that there are a lot of gaps at the moment, but we will fill those in later on. But for the moment, let's continue with the next couple layers. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's time for more windows. So again, you're going to need to make 6 of these stacks of 2 windows with the inserts. You're going to need to put 1 stack here on each side, Then turning over to the 1x4, you're going to need to put 2 stacks on each side. Complex stuff, I know. But yeah, let's actually, instead of doing this layer by layer, since we've already done a pretty good job at filling up the sides over here, let's work on the front a bit, how about? Moving on to the frontmost wall, we'll start with this 1x4 brick, 1x2 textured brick. So you connect these two together, turn it around, and then at the back, you'll put on a couple of these modified 1x1s with the little scroll detail that extends it out to a 1x2. Turn it around for a second more. Well, we finish constructing the front of the wall, so we'll take 1x1 in nougat, tan 1x1, 2 more tan 1x1s. Then we'll take this window piece, put in the nice curved lattice insert, top it off with this 1x4, turn it around to the back. We'll take a 1x4 plate in brown to be a shelf. Over here we'll just put a 1x1 stud that could represent many things. Perhaps it could represent the first snitch Harry ever caught. Perhaps it could represent Slytherin's ring, or perhaps the locket. I don't know. Your imagination is what decides it, I guess. Then we'll just take 1x1 red tile, tan jumper, and nougat plate, and just stick the tile in between these two studs, which is technically an illegal technique, but we'll just set that there, and these sort of work together to become the confiscated Horcrux books that Dumbledore removed from the restricted section of the library after, you know, the whole Voldemort incident. Anyway, or well, you know, after Tom Riddle became Voldemort, I mean. Anyway, so we'll just stick this here, and yeah, things are coming along pretty well so far. One more just quick little assembly. We'll just make a couple of these towers of a 1x1 brick, 3 cylinders, and another 1x1, one in all tan, and one with a nougat brick at the bottom. We'll just stick those in here and here and set it to dry for a minute. Actually, quick little mistake. Honestly, you should be used to this by now. Take off this 1x1. We're going to need it for the next step. Speaking of the next step, let's start by taking a 1x1 brick and... Sorry about the awkward cut, but I just cannot catch a break tonight. Anyway, but as that breaks off, and that breaks off, truly very stable at the moment. I mean, in general, this second floor won't be very stable until we attach it to the first, because, yeah, kind of was running out of pieces at this point, so the connections are kind of weak. So yeah, when you're building this, it might honestly be a good idea to just build this on top of the first layer, but I'm not, because that would just be really awkward to maneuver around at this point. But anyway, so to start with, we'll take a 1x1 brick and a 1x1 brick. We'll put the brick here, and the normal brick here. Then over here, we'll take a 1x3 on top of these pieces where we previously removed the 1x1. Then over here, we'll put on a 1x4, and that 1x1 we removed earlier. Over here, on top of this window piece, we'll put on a 1x2 brick. And then over here, we'll put on a 1x3 brick, if this will reconnect. It won't. And another 1x2 brick. So that attaches on as such, and while we're here, we might as well just add on the next couple of pieces for the model, which are 4 very large panel pieces, and you can put these in whichever order. I'm just going with the sticker orientation I like best. So over in this open area, we'll put in this one with 2 stickers. Over here, we'll put in this one with a sticker right near the top. Over here again, we'll put this one with the sticker with the bit of foliage, or moss, more likely, coming down the side. Although I suppose you could call moss foliage. Then over here, we'll just take this this most plain one with just a single discolored brick on it. So yeah, so that's basically all the walls for this second floor, so now let's move on to a bit more of the interior of this layer, shall we? Starting off, we have some interior details that are so simple I really don't think I need to explain them. I mean, to start off, both Dumbledore's chair and Fawkes the Phoenix are literally just the builds that they had in the actual set, so again, as I said in part 1, you don't need to take these guys apart, we're using them. Then here we have this trophy stand that is literally 2 pieces and a trophy. I mean, come on. Then here we have this treasure chest on a little 2x2 jumper at a 45-degree angle. And inside we have just a red gem for the Philosopher's Stone and the Elder Wand. The chest attaches right in this corner. Okay. The trophy goes here, next to this window. The chair goes here in the back, sort of. There you can see it. And then Fawkes can just sort of go off to the side here, next to where Dumbledore sits. So yeah, now let's move on to a bit more of the more detailed furniture for the interior. So here are the parts we'll need to build the final 2 interior details for Dumbledore's office itself. We'll start off with the simpler of the 2 builds, being his desk. So we'll take this dark brown 2x6, and underneath it we'll put on a tan 2x4. On the edges we'll put on these nice gold modified 1x2s with the handlebars, just to create a bit of nice ornate detailing. Underneath we'll take these textured 1x2s. Then on the desk itself, we'll put on the Philosopher's Stone. Or, well, not the Philosopher's Stone, it would be much smaller, and we have the Philosopher's Stone over here, but yeah, I see a red crystal, and I think Philosopher's Stone, so yeah, that's a thing. Then here we have this golden goblet. Then over here, we'll take a black stud with a hole in it, and then we'll put the candle in there. So yeah, that is Dumbledore's desk, and we'll just put that, obviously, in front of his chair. Then for the more complex piece of furniture, we'll have just a little shelving unit to hold some magical stuffs. So to start with, we'll take another 2x6. Underneath, we'll take another 2 textured bricks as I drop one, because of course I drop it. Why would I not do that? Then over here, we'll take on each side a window piece. And then for the inside of the shelf, here we'll put in this nice green crystal. Here in the back, we'll have this nice blue vial. And then in the front again, we'll have this nice green sort of bottle. Cap this layer off with another 2x6. Then here, put a centered cone that holds the sorting hat on it. And then over here, we can just put a little yellow frog. Set this here, 1 stud away from the wall, and there is a good reason for that. Because you'll notice that we still have a couple little extra builds here, so we'll make 2 of these. So you take the window piece with the insert, turn it to the side, on top put a jumper and a stud. Again, we're making 2 of these, and these form little pull-out drawers, and in one of them we can just put a basilisk fang. Then we can just slide both of these underneath of here. It can take a bit of work to get them in there, but they do fit. This doesn't stretch any parts, it doesn't lift up the shelf at all. They do fit just fine. It just takes a bit of finagling on the first one. Push it down just to make sure it's stable, and there you go. That is the interior for this second part of Dumbledore's office. Very last thing to add, we'll just take a couple of these, more of these assemblies, which are 2 cones with, well, a cylinder and then the spike piece. We'll just put one here and one here. So yeah, now let's move up to the sort of, I guess, the roof for the side builds of the model. So here we have some very complex stuff. So we'll take this 6x6 piece, and we'll put this 1x3 with an arch, put another 1x3 with an arch, and then tilt it on this center, on this stud, we'll put a 1x1. And we'll make 2 of these. And they both go to sort of create a bit of roofing for the sides. One goes there, and one goes here. And then to close the gap between them, we'll take this 1x12 brick, and underneath on each side, just put a gold stud. And it just helps to connect the 2 sides together a bit. So yes, that is nearly everything here. Now let's just build up the final spires for the model. So here are the parts you're going to need to build the Owlery, because I completely forgot that we need to build this before we can build the spire. So to start off, we'll take 2 of these pieces. As I throw the part we need this sort of curved 1x2 with the 2 holes in it, although we're not using the holes here. Put that there, and here we'll put on some sideways headlight bricks, as well as 2 more of these scrolly bricks facing to the back. Then here on the front, we'll put on a couple of 1x2 tan jumper plates. Then here, we'll put on a 1x2 jumper, as well as this 1x2 with the Technic. Did I say 1x2? I meant 2x2. Here we'll take a telescope piece, and these just act as 2 perches for owls. Obviously, if you only have 1 owl, i.e. Hedwig from the sets, just use the golden one, because it's more stable. But if you also want to display the owl that comes with the Cho Chang CMF, or one of the older owls, put it here, why not? What's the worst that can happen? Part getting deformed? Yeah, something like that. Oh, and then also, here we'll just put on this little white stud for a bit of owl poop, because humor. Then here, we'll take a headlight brick on its side. Underneath, we'll put a stud. Here we'll put a 1x2 modified. 1x1 modified with the clip. Then here we'll put on a couple of these 1x3 sloped pieces that go both ways. We'll put those here and here as such. Does that work? Yeah, that works, although I did actually make a little tiny minuscule mistake. You should be used to these by this point, very much so. Put the stud here so you can actually properly fit this piece on. Oh, and then here in the back you can just stick this little candle on a stud. So yeah, and then this assembly just connects cleanly up here. Or, well, I mean, at least sort of cleanly. It might help if you take this piece back off to make sure that everything is lined up and secured well. Yeah, that's good. So now, to build the final 2 spires of the model before we move on to the little mini tower on the side. So here are the parts we're going to need to build the final 2 spires for the main build. So to start with, we'll just take, of course, the 1 Millennium Falcon half cockpit piece in dark gray that is used for the actual spire in 3 different sets this year. Then underneath, we'll put on a couple of these corner plates, and at the back, a couple of 1x1 plates. And then the rest of this main spire will actually follow the same build from the set. So we'll take this 1x2 that faces back, that's, you know, the slope, I mean, 1x2x2, this part cone piece, this full cone piece, this tiny cone piece, and this ski pole piece, and then this all just attaches right here. You have the 6 available studs here that the corner plates just fit onto, and yeah, that's the only point of attachment. The other 2 plates in the back just work to give a bit more stability. They don't actually attach to anything. And yeah, but this can still be easily lifted up to give you more access if you want. And then over here, we have a little optional tower that honestly, now that I think of it, it probably would look better off. So if I display this model anymore after this video, I'm probably going to keep it off. But I showed it off in the review because I designed it that way to start with before I started doing this tutorial on how to build it. So anyway, we'll take a couple of 2x2 slopes. We'll take this molded tower piece with the sort of shingles, a cone, and a spike, and we'll put this here, and yeah, I don't really like the look of that, so we'll just take that right back off. And then, of course, to connect the 2 layers, you have to use a bit of precision. Your sort of guiding piece to get it all to fit together well is the little 1x4 here, which just fits in between these 2 half-arch pieces here. And then everything else should line up pretty well. Of course, just press down well on all the studs. You might want to actually start with the pillars here on the back, just to make sure, because I think those are important since they have a lot of different studs on them, 8 to be precise, and I just think those really do help. That is why I decided to, after I finished building this model, go back and add them in, because they just help so much with keeping this stable, which is, of course, very important if you want to play with this model, or really display it, because honestly, setting up figures can be just as difficult as playing around in it, I've found, from just Lego sets in general. Heck, sometimes display can be even harder than play. And yeah, let me just... Actually, I'll just pause the video to the point where I've lined all this up so we can move on. So for the first half of the little side build tower, we'll start off with this A-shaped, I don't really know what to call this. This plate, you know what this is. And we'll take a corner brick, 1x2 brick, onto the exposed edge of the corner brick. We'll attach on a dark green 1x4. Then here we'll just put on this gray Technic brick. If it would focus it, this would help. There we go. And next layer, 1x4, 1x1, 1x1. And just here on the sides, we'll put 4 more 1x1s. And then in the back, this window piece. Yeah, now let's move on to the next set of bits. So here we have our next layer of parts. So we'll start with a pair of 1x2 bricks. Then a couple of these 1x4 arched bricks. Then up here we'll put a 1x2. Then we'll take a headlight brick, put on a modified 1x1 with sort of tooth, and then take a cheese slope and stick it here to create a nice sort of little angle to that, almost like a simulated curve. Well, almost like a curve, exactly like a simulated curve. Anyway, make a second one of those. Here, put on a clip in the back. Then we can just attach a broomstick to store here. Then up top, put on this molded spire piece, a 1x1, and a ski pole. And then this tower just attaches to these 3 unused anti-studs right here. And of course, it doesn't attach while I'm recording because, I mean, why would it? There we go. Now let me just track down the top. There we go. And that is my alternate build, as I zoom out too far, of Lego Harry Potter set number 75954. This is Dumbledore's office. And, yeah, I'll actually, there, that looks better. So, yeah, you get, again, this isn't all you get. You get to keep a couple of side builds from the original. And, of course, all the minifigures. And a lantern. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this alternate build video. If you've stuck around to this point, just thank you. And I hope to see all of you in my next video coming at you very soon. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye for now.